Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Yeah, I heard a lot of sing. So now we got a little singing in the house. That's quite nice. I was just in the Kaur's United with them for the past week. So the divine feminine, like, girl, is hanging in there strong for me right now. With that, I'm feeling, like I'm connecting to what you guys have been doing this past week, being here. And it feels pretty intense. And that's good. That's a really good thing. When you go back home and they say, oh, how was it? Oh, it was intense. That's what it needs to be. It needs to be intense. It needs to be confronting. It needs to really dig down deep inside of you and who you're projecting and how you're being in the world. And clearing all of that out, really getting the energy of the satsang to confront all of our stuff. So when you step back out there, whatever this out there is, it's only one thing happening anyway, but whatever this out there is, this illusion of going back out there, then you go back strong and feeling well fed. And so it's really nice. I feel so honored to be able to sit with the Guru Sangit and say something. I really recognize what an honor it is to be able to speak to the Sangit and share my experience, to share how I feel this path, how this path, really moves through me, and you get what you get, you don't get what you don't get, and that's okay. I'm not for everybody, and that's okay, right? So you take the pieces of what I have to share that resonate with you, put the rest on the shelf, maybe reserve it for another day, another conversation. I don't presume to tell you anything you don't already know. I don't presume to have the truth. I just, am having an experience of being in love with my Guru and sharing what that is, how that is for me. And so the conversation that I felt called to share today is just about breaking bondage, that the Khalsa breaks bondage. I left the conversation, to tell you where I left the conversation about Savalak, the concept of Savalak, the 121 Khalsa, one sing, one singini, one Kaur, matching 125,000. And, I always pray, my ardas is that I could speak a reality, like what these things really mean in reality. It's nice on a bumper sticker, it's cool on a shirt, but what does that mean on a Tuesday when you're standing in line to get a coffee? I want to speak about that, the real reality that we are faced with and dealing with. Okay, hang on a second. Nice. Okay. So I got this treat at Kaur's United where they did this talent show, and this girl decided to impersonate me. And they asked for my permission first. They're like, she wants to impersonate you. First, I'm like, I'm not even Michael Jackson is impersonatable. Like, do I even have that much personality to be impersonated? Like, what is she gonna do? So I was really interested to see how she felt me, like, what was gonna come out. And, they kind of kept it secret, and got her together. And so evidently I speak a lot with my hands. So this is probably why I requested a stand. Evidently I'm very, very much in the heart. It's so funny to watch that happen. But what was interesting was when they asked me at first, I wanted to say no. I wanted to say, I don't know if I want to see my projection. I don't know if I want to be confronted like that. What if she does something about me that I don't like? And I said, oh, wait a minute now, what is that going on? Let's see how you're showing up to people in the world. So it was an opportunity for me to see what that was, what that came out with. And when she came out, she had, all this bonnet and tights, of course, like colorful, tights on with her bonnet. And she looked so beautiful. And it wasn't me that I was seeing the Sarup of my Guru. And I'm like, why Guru? She looked so beautiful. And she felt it. And I'm like, do not think you're feeling me. Like, if you think you're feeling me, you got it completely wrong. You're feeling the Sarup of your Guru. Like, how amazing and how beautiful do you feel? Don't think you're impersonating me. You're going into who you really are. And she was kind of surprised at how people received her. Because of course she went there to work on whatever it was that she went to work on. And then she put the Sarup of the Guru on, thinking that she was, going to show who I am. But she got this surprise to see who she really was. And that was just so powerful for me to look at as well and say, it's not even me that this thing is. All of this is the beauty and the power of our Guru. And any second that we forget that and get caught up in that, oh, thank you. Missing it completely. And so that was a nice little experience in the teachings of that for me to be able, and it felt like the first time I'd ever really seen the power of the Sarup. I wear it every day, but I really got to see it like, what? Wow, Guru. Just made me want to bow even more. And, I can accept humor. Like, I like that. So I have a sense of humor about myself. But the real gift in that was being able to see that she wasn't impersonating me at all. She was showing the real Sarup of our Guru and what that's like and what an honor it is that I get to project and be in my life in that way. And her words to me, she said, well, I'm trying, it's hard for me to be like you, to be confident and powerful, but so peaceful at the same time. This is like how she was trying to coach herself to impersonate me, be powerful, confident, and peaceful all at the same time. But those aren't qualities of me. Those are qualities of our Guru. And I had to keep, turning that back around. Those are qualities of our Guru. This is why we've come to this planet as the Khalsa, is to project that and be that in the world. And if it inspires people, why Guru? So this conversation, it's really quite interesting as well. I came on this path 7 years ago, and it's continuing to change form, to get deeper and deeper. These layers of the onion are just peeling back, taking me to other levels, deeper levels. I think I got it, and then wow, there's another one. Oh, I have it, and then there's another one. So I'm learning how infinite this fall is. Like the falling in love with the Guru is an infinite fall. There is no place to get to. And I also love that about this path, is that it's an infinite fall. So it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit as well. That surrendering into, I don't have to know everything about everything. I'm falling into it, uncovering it. And it's like, when we were in school, and I know some of you are still in school, there's that kid in the class that just knows math. He just knows it. And you struggling with it, and he just knows the math, just knows the pattern. And you're just like, what? See, it might even work just like this, and I'm just kind of obsessing about it being close to my mouth. Can y'all hear me well? Okay. Got it. Yeah. So So yeah, you know people like that. They just like know the math, and you're saying, how does he just know the math like that? You know, and how does he just get the pattern? And we're looking at him like he's got something we don't have, and we wish that we could just, you know. And there are different layers of this path like that. You know, some people just wear the dust star and have no problem, just bam. No problem. They just know the math. They know the science. They feel it. They connect with it. There's no resistance. There's no fear. There's no nothing. They're just like, bam, it's done. And then there are those that are really struggling with that piece. But they have this other piece together where they're waking up for their Amritpal on time. And then somebody else is like, what? I need those extra 3 minutes. You know, and just like really, really battling the mind to just raise up. You know, what's happening in Syria right now, they're in a whole different type of level of a jung. Whole other jung. And our jung over here, we've got this kirpa to be where we are right now. Our jung is just waking up for Amritpal. Going into that battle every morning. And when we put it into context like that, it's like, wow, you know, we get the kirpa to be on this side of the world where we're holding this energy, this vibration, you know, for what it means to be a warrior saint. And our real jung, our real battle is just rise in the Amritpal and remember your guru. And for some people, that is a real challenge, and they have to keep fighting it every morning, every morning, every morning. So when you come onto these paths, there are just pieces that you just really get so easily. And as we would like, as I told you, the Savalak, that the theory of one of us equaling 225,000, I would love for there just to be a machine out there, because I would patent it right away. A machine that we can just put outside, and you walk through it. We maybe have some Sevadars with their Shastra garden it, and you walk through, and you come out Savalak. Done. I would love that. When y'all love, my teacher told me the other day, you want the mastery of job side without doing job side. Yes, that's what I want. I want the mastery of job side without having to actually do job side. But it doesn't work that way. You have to actually do it. You have to actually apply it. Again and again and again and again. You give your head once, oh, I took Amrit, one. No, again and again and again. You bow your head again, 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 every moment, every second, bowing, 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 bowing. It is an infinite fall. And some of us, can really get that math and get that science, and it just like those, those cues that you just, blue, bam, orange, and some of us are like, what? How did he even switch that over them like that? And we're just, but you have to go through that. You have to go through whatever is coming up in your mind about how he did it faster, how he's still on that one, and you're just going through the whole process of getting these cubes to fit, and we call that the sadhana, we call that the dharma, we call that, the seva. So what I'm experiencing and learning about all of this is, how to be able to live this path, live this dharma in the highest of integrity. Not just like check marks. Okay, I must be Khalsa, I got a turban, check. Must be Khalsa, I got my kipan, check. I have my conga, check. But really have the experience and the grit of what it takes to really understand, to get the pattern, to get the technology of what it is that we're doing. And being as gentle and compassionate with myself as I can in the process. Being compassionate and gentle with others in their process as well. Because what was so difficult for me, it's like a breeze for somebody else. So in that sense, it's like, oh, okay, go teach that. Go share that. Sometimes we put our attention on our weaknesses. If I had my attention on my weaknesses, I wouldn't be here standing in front of you talking. I wouldn't. But because I like to engage in what I know for sure, because I like to really go into what I'm really strong about, it carries the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And this is all I want you to, stay in. The vibration of this conversation is about the Khalsa breaking bondages. Breaking bondage on the mind, bondage on the body, bondage on the spirit. That's what the Khalsa is about. We break through all of that. Bondages, for me right now, my family is huge. The hooks and the attachments and the drama and being able to break through all of that so I can just serve my guru. And then through my guru, have the kirpa of serving them. But it takes work. I want to walk through this. And it's this sabala. It's almost laughable when I think about 125,000. I can't even be with my family in the same room, and that's like 4. So we have work to do to be able to really hold that vibration and that consciousness for 125,000, each one of us. So that's each time you sit down to chant your Vaheguru, you're doing it for 125,000. Each time you break a bondage that you have on your mind, you're doing that for 125,000. That Rubik Cube part that's hard for you, when you finally get it and it clicks, 125,000. Bam. And we have that level of consciousness because we have the bij, the seed of the guru, in us. And when you look at it, it can kind of seem overwhelming, like, oh my God, 125,000. Whew. No, it's just the first thing first. The one that's in front of you, bam, right in that moment. Conquering that. The Kali Yuga is so heavy hitting. Like it doesn't pull its punches at all. And to be able to discipline the mind and keep your heart open at the same time is the key. Really, really key part. Especially for us to get this solid lock piece. Because one person hurts your feelings, disappoints you, we shut down. Everybody, don't talk to me. Like this 7-year-old kid comes out on us. I don't want to be your friend. But as the Khalsa, we don't have that option. You have to see how this person is going to impersonate you. And sit through it. Because that's all that we're doing. We're walking around impersonating each other. Showing each other who we really are. And can you sit on that fire and burn? Imagine Guru Arjan, like he did it on a whole other level. Can you just sit in the fire of your own little family drama and purify it? What? Can you sit in the burn of your own mind and purify it? What? We're not even asking you to, really have to set yourself on fire, but we're asking you to really set yourself on fire. And when we are holding this Dharma in this way that we have to be the perfect Sikh, then it gets really itchy and scratchy. And the more we fall into that, the more corruptible we actually become. Because then we kind of go into this hiding where we have to hide where we're dirty, where we have to hide where we're dark instead of purifying it. And being willing to show, to be in the light, to be clean and pure about how dirty you really are. That's the burning. Can you purify and be so clean about how dirty you really are? Where your mind really goes. Can you sit in the honesty and the truth about that and then bow your head to Vaheguru? That's the Khalsa. That's breaking the bondage. It's not how good you can camouflage it and hide it and deny it and repress it. Because when we're doing the Dharma in that way, you get a bunch of sheeps in lion's clothing. And then when the real jung starts, when it's really time for you to stand up and let yourself on fire, you punk out. You get scared. And many of us have had that experience when we needed a sing to be a sing. And he backed out. When we needed a chord to hold her grace and be singing. And she gave into her drama and her illusion and her maya. This is the work of the Khalsa. That's what's needed to be able to, really project and purify and hold this savalak consciousness that the Guru, that hukam that he gave us. And that savalak for the guy sitting on next to you in the plane. Not just for other Guru Sikhs. It's for the one you can't stand. It's for that white supremacist. It's for the serial rapist. It's like, can we go into the darkest of the dark and cut on the light? Because that's the job of the Khalsa. We're basically demon slayers. But you got to start with the demons in your own mind. But that's what we are. Who are you? I'm a demon slayer. That's what I do. Business card. Bam. That's what I do. What demons? The ones in my mind. Really sound crazy there, no? But it's true. It's for real. Waheguru. 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 So as I'm, moving deeper into my understanding of what the Guru is requesting of me, I get a lot of things wrong. But the two things I get right, I'm going to put 200% in those two things I get right. I may get 1,000 things wrong, but those two things will be in complete bhakti, in complete devotion of my Guru. And if we had that kind of level of compassion for the full Sangha, every Sangha I go to, the parents are like, shh, psh, talk to them about why they cutting their hair. Psh, And I'm saying, are you ready to look at you, Mom? Let me talk to you about why they're cutting their hair. Girl, I'm having such a hard time plucking my eyebrows, not, wanting to pluck my eyebrows. I said, okay, well, what's the real core? Are you ready to go into you looking at what's really happening there? Going into how unlovable you feel. Are you ready to look at that? Because that's really what we're dealing with. We're not talking about why, just like drug addicts. We're not talking about why you keep smoking. We're talking about why you are avoiding reality. That's the real conversation. Why can't I sit in the reality of my own being? Why can't I feel my own darkness without collapsing? Why can't I be with the polarity and the projection of the other without collapsing? That's really what we're talking about. And this is all bondage that we have on the mind. And then going into the body is a whole other conversation. It's like, and sometimes it's really shocking, and it comes from a place that we don't even realize, that we are, while we're struggling with what we're struggling with. Like, You know, like I told you that math, like putting those things together. And it's, why is my child not wanting to keep her cash? Why haven't you smiled in 2 months? Why aren't you showing her the joy of what it's like to be in Wahiguru's bliss? Because that's what she wants. She wants to see and feel and experience what it is to be in the bliss of Wahiguru. Where's the projection of the bliss? Wahiguru, Wahiguru. Miserable, mean. We are mean to each other. We are mean. Where's Guru Ramdas? Where's Guru Har Krishna? It's like these simple things. We want the technology of the universe. We want the cosmic. Just tell the truth when it profits you to lie. Start there. Just start there. Simple. Look somebody in the eye and say good morning from your heart. Without a hook. Start there. Simple stuff. And then the technology just downloads. Because that's what our gurus did. That's what Guru Ramdas did. They come in looking for the high majesty, and he's cleaning feet. And somewhere we forget that when we're looking at our daughter, when we're looking at our brother, we have that attachment and that hook. So, the Savalak and breaking bondage, of our own minds. When we're chanting, like when we're doing our kirtan and we're doing our ba, and really being able to go inside of unlocking what stops us and keeps us from experiencing our whole being. Our whole being is the key. Accepting all of it. And then looking to serve others inside of how they're unlocking what they're unlocking in the most compassionate way. As the saint, that bowing saint. So when I'm looking at you, judging you, like the saint only can see Guru. That's all they can see, is Guru. The saint, all they can see is how to serve Guru. So if I'm looking at you and I see that you're blocked somewhere, and I'm looking at you from the saint, I'm saying, how can I serve Guru? Not how can I make her feel so ashamed about what she's doing that... What is that? That's when that fight or flight kicks in. And so much of us, we're so hungry. We're so hungry. We're so hungry for the Nam. We're so hungry for the compassion of our Guru, for the love of our Guru. Because this out there illusion that we're talking about, we're not going to find it. We don't have it. So sometimes, even when I'm doing this kind of, kata and this kind of vichar, sometimes I'm just like, why am I even talking? I just want to sit in the Nam with my Sangit, with the Sad Sangit, and long for our Guru, and be fed for our Guru. Like, what do I even have to talk about? What is there to even talk about? If it's not Waheguru. Like, really? But inside of talking about it, I get to experience my destiny. I get to serve. And that's nice. But mostly just being able to sit in the darshan of our Guru with our heart completely open, with our foreheads to the floor, that's what we really come to do. In any moment that we're relating to each other from something other than that, dharma, karma, choose. Dharma, karma, choose. That simple, that easy. But it's so hard because I really don't like her. You know, dharma, karma, choose. But he took my money, or whatever this thing is that we have, that we get caught up inside of. Dharma, karma, choose. You know, my relationship with the singing, with the woman, has really begun to develop because I had a willingness to get over the petty. You know, like all this injustice that women feel like is happening in the world, but the man, you know, you men don't want, no, really, the real truth, 98% of the oppression is woman on woman. Is the Shakti, the divine feminine, attacking the divine feminine. The men want to serve us. They're like, we're waiting for our order. What do you want us to do? We're waiting on you to tell me what to do. What are we going to do? That's what's really going on. And we over here, women, petty. Our requests aren't high enough. If you want that coconut at the top of the trees, they say, I want the coconut at the top of the tree with the prana. Now, well, just go ahead and get just pick the one up that fell, that's okay. No, I want the one that's at the top, that's getting the prana. Work it out, figure it out, make it happen. And they're like, yes, I get to be a man, I get to do this warrior thing, I get to get up to the top. But we're like, well, I really don't want to ask for what I really want because, no, I want the one at the top sing. I want to celebrate in your fateh because you're going to reach it. How can I support you in getting that one? That's really who we are. And if we understood that power as a woman, war would be done by tomorrow morning. Done. Over. If we really knew how to make our requests good and how to hold the vibration high to make it happen. But we get caught up, but what if he doesn't think I'm pretty enough? He just wants to experience his victory, his fateh. So I was saying about how my relationship with this singing, with my sisters, like really, you know, seeing how mean and abusive and disconnected and not wanting to connect. I'll talk to you about shallow stuff, but I won't really let you in to really get in there and do this work that we have to do to heal the planet. We could talk about how beautiful the chola is. Or we can get really deep inside of what is it going to take for you to heal the pain that's keeping you from wearing a chola. Like really get in there. Karma, dharma, choose. And I'm not talking about something I've mastered. I'm in it with you. And in every moment I have to keep bowing and keep, you know, looking to raise the vibration of the Singini and bring her forward and say, this is what we've come to do. This is what, you know, I think about, you know, Chandi. You are Chandi. We are Chandi. Can I pause so you can really sit in that reality? Really feel what that is. You know, it's like being Shastradhari. A lot can happen in a year, y'all. You know, like just within this year, I've really, began to understand the scope of what it really means to be Shastradhari. And the Guru is doing a really great job for me in showing me my projection. Because I've been doing this for a while, so I just go into Walgreens and I have my Shastra and I, go into the drugstore just like as myself. And I don't understand why people are freaking, because it's just me, and I can't really get my projection. And I'm like, why do these people look, But I forget for a second, So I'm getting a movie from the red box. And this guy's like, oh, you come strapped, huh? And I said, yeah. And we're just in this conversation when he sees my Shastra, and he's like, I come strapped too. And I was like, really? So he walks me over to his car, and I'm excited to see, the Shastra that he has. And it is I'm not joking, full-on machine gun. And I step back and I'm like, are we in Cambodia? I couldn't get it. I was like, why would you need a machine gun sitting in Clovis, New Mexico, coming to get a movie from the red box? Inside of me, this is what I'm like, it was a full, I'm not joking. And he's like, yeah. And of course, I'm bowing to the power of the Shastra, like, man. But really, is that where we are in the world right now? Because it just, but then for a second it had me say, Amritpal, wow. That must be kind of like what you look like just walking. Why do you need all this Shastra to walk into Walgreens? To come and pick up, toothpaste. And so it's, it showed me a projection real quick. And I'm like, wow, this is powerful work we're doing. But the vibration of the Shabad and the vibration of Guru Sahib, when you're coming from the perspective of I'm willing to give my life to defend you, it's a lot different than, it's hard out there for a pimp and we need, we need this, it's a different vibration, right? So there's that understanding about that as well. What light we've really come to serve this world with and how we're willing to give our lives for peace. Standing in a line to pay my electric bill. This lady said, oh, nobody's gonna mess with you. I said, no, nobody's gonna mess with you. Because I'm here. Quick. This path is personally impersonal. It's it's for me, but it's really not. It's just so I won't go stupid crazy when everybody else is going stupid crazy. I have a disciplined mind to hold it together. That's all it is. So that I can serve you. That's why I chant Waheguru. But being able to put these pieces together, like that cube, to see that math in the moment that you're in it, is what really brings us into our mastery. Being able to call the moment when you're in that moment. Not 5 minutes, I should have said, No, in that moment, you're there to honor that moment and can be completely present and say, no, this is what this is. And get really good at that. I completely have no sense of time. So I have no idea how many minutes I have left, or I'll talk and talk and talk and talk and talk with no problems. So I'll need somebody to keep me accountable for the time, for sure. But until they start booting and ushering me off, we'll just keep it rolling. Oh, nice. But more than, you know, and I'll be more than happy to open the space for questions as well. Because I don't have a lot of time with you guys, you know. At the last camp I was at, we had days, you know, to sit together. And I haven't had one chance to sit with you in the Amritpal, to meet you in the sweet hour. So I'll be more than happy to go into some questions as well. Sam, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I really enjoyed your perspective. It was beautiful.
Why?
I wanted to ask, you said to not concentrate on the negative within us. How do we do that without then becoming arrogant about the positives?
So there's this beautiful quote from Guru Granth Sahib Ji that said, you have to see the gold in the mud equal. And you can meditate on that for a while. Like, why would I see the gold in the mud equal? And it's through the power of Guru Ram Das, really, that natural, like neutral state. So when somebody comes with the positive, like what happens in your body, because our body gives us so many indications, and information is full of information. Your heart starts beating when you're nervous, or you start to sweat a little bit, you know. Like our body communicates to us also what's happening in the moment that it's happening. Your mouth gets dry, a lot of different things happen. So we have to be able to work on the neutral mind. And why that's so powerful is that when somebody gives you a compliment, you don't go off balance. You don't, women, it's like a disease that we have to need to be catered to, that we need to be complimented and appreciated. He doesn't appreciate me the way he appreciates me. It's like a mental condition that we have. Then we also have this mental condition. And men, listen, okay, I'll be over there in a minute. Don't just think I'm coming down on y'all women. I'll be over there in a minute. Oh, why are you doing it? So, if you can keep your state, like hold your state in every circumstance, like it's not this external thing that changes what happens in here. It's what happens in here that shifts the external thing out there. So when a compliment comes or something negative comes, you hold your state. The mud and the gold are equal. And when we can get that, we're really being the warrior. That's the warrior piece, really, even more than the saint. Because the warrior, we're not like, well, I can save you because you're nice and you complimented me on Thursday. But you were rude and, no. Mud, gold, equal. But that's what's happening inside of you. And it takes practice. Because since we were in kindergarten, we got the stickers on our paper that had a smiley face on it and job well done. And then everybody said, you got a smiley face? I didn't get a smiley face. And then, it's been happening. We're conditioned, man. It's deep. We're so conditioned. You got a purple one and they gave me a pink one. That must mean, and we put all this meaning on it. Right? Like we attach all this meaning to it. So because you gave me a compliment, that must mean I'm. No, they just gave you a compliment. You're more than welcome to hand it to your guru. Oh, they just, put out a negative projection about you. Why a guru? You could just hand that to your guru. But it's what's happening in you. And you're the only one that can control that. They won't even know. Again, so I could be sitting here just... or, show it like this, whatever. Who knows? Or I just say it like this. You don't know how it's registering inside of me. Silence is powerful, too, in the face of, compliments or negativity, like if you can just sit with it, powerful. The mind just like runs quickly. I was in the airport, and this woman was going down the stairs, and her legs looked so cute in like her pants, like the way her pants were shaped in her legs. And so we get down, and I was like, your legs look so cute in those pants. And she just said, just blank. Gave me silence, and I didn't know what to do with it. Oh my God, did I just offend her? Oh my God. Like my mind just like, you know, quickly. Oh, she was thinking I'm weird. I just said this thing to her, and I just gave her a compliment, and was that inappropriate? My mind just because she offered me silence. I didn't know what to do with it. And I said, do you speak English? There's gotta be a reason behind this. You speak English? And she's like, yeah, I speak English. And then she offered me silence again. And I'm like, God! Oh. Like inside, I'm like, oh man, what is happening in this conversation right now? Where do I go with this? And so I just stood there inside that silence with her. And she turned and walked away. And went and got her back. So now my mind is really like, oh my God, like my negative mind was just like, you are so weird, Amritpal. So then she goes to get her bag, and then she comes back, and she gives me this big hug, and she said, I just cannot believe that you said that. I've hated my legs my whole life. Oh. And I cannot believe that you just gave me that compliment. And she gave me such a big hug. And then she turned and she left. There was no exchange. Okay, so take note that I'm the one that gave you that compliment. It makes you feel, there was no note, you know, there was just a moment that we shared that allowed her to accept and embrace this part of her that she's been disowning and hating and, you know, her whole life. And this random woman with the dust star comes over and says this thing. And I'll probably never see her again. But there was a moment of healing when I brought a polarity to her negativity about her own self. There's a healing that happens in that. And when it comes, like I told you, like for me, I was just like, oh my God, I insulted this woman or something. She thinks I'm weird. And I was feeling bad about having mentioned that. But the Guru was moving something that was able to heal this bondage that this lady had on herself through that small little encounter going down the escalator. But it's not the compliment that you receive, the negativity that you receive, it's what you make it mean. That's what holds all the power. What meaning are you adding to that now? And then you want to just hold your neutral state, be able to be with the silence in it. Did that answer your question a little bit? Why do? Khalsa language.
प्रसाद सारे में कोई जा बंडिया जाता चाहे छोटा हो चाहे बड़ा हो गुरबाणी भी सारे नहीं नाम भी सारे नहीं नाम का कारी हर एक हो सकता मेरा गुरु की शरण में आए मैं माफी पहले मांगदा आप जी को सारे को कि मैं बिल्कुल अनपढ़ जीरो हाँ सो कई कई जे दस दे कई पंजाबी का शब्द भी जरूर बोलना चाहिए साड़ी मदर टंग बाणी ना जोड़न ले ओके
He thought I was Punjabi and I'm not speaking.
He apparently was Punjabi and he said you were Punjabi and that you should be speaking Punjabi so right. He's very मैं अगर चलो मेरे को कोड़ा जीरो आ ये मैं सदा आ मेरे साथी है मैं जीरो एक भी मेरे नाल चलो राजा ने मेरी कीमत हो जाती है ते जो मेरे ख्याल ये नाल कर दिंदे आ ते सारे ते वो चीज पहुंच जाती है ते कदी कदी विच नाल कोई वैसे सहायता ले दो एक जाने दी को मोटे मोटे विचों सारे संकेत जाए कोई जरूर दस दे साडे पल्ले कुछ नहीं पिया हुण कृपा करदा कोई कोई मुख्तियार जरूर ये भाई साहब ये कृपा कर दे जिन्ना कि ने दसिया एवं संखेप 5-10 सेंटेंसां दे विच माड़ा जिहा मेरे पल्ले भी कोई शिकायत नहीं।
Can you translate?
He's,
If you can.
Babaji said that firstly he wanted you to speak Punjabi. Punjabi.
If you want to understand what I'm saying, you don't want me to try to speak it in Punjabi.
So he now asked if someone can just, in a few sentences, tell what you've said, so that he can take something away from what you've said. He feels a bit left out.
Why?
कोई जना भी महाराज
Wherever कोई सेवा करता है,
थोड़ा
मैं तो अभी भी करता था। Thank you so much how about doing सेवा। तो मैं करता।
थोड़ा जिहा आउटलाइन बिल्कुल आउटलाइन बस एक इशारा दे दो बस मैंने आपे बाकी पता आपे लग
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा
वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. So he wants you to translate?
Yeah, just in 2 sentences.
Okay. Oh, can you translate? He said, I want to see this happen.
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। आज ये भैन जी कोस्टा रिका तो आए हैं। कोस्टा रिका, West Costa Rica?
It's in Central
America. मुझे उधर टावर वैसे ऊपर वाला साउथ में। So, भैन जी कहते थे कि वो दस्ते जरा खालसा की या खालसा। ਤਾਂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੋ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਭਲਾਈ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਮੰਗਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੈ ਜੰਗ ਬਾਹਰ ਦੀ ਜੰਗ ਇੱਕ ਅੰਦਰ ਦੀ ਜੰਗ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਵੇਗਾ ਹਾਂ ਬਸ ਇਹ ਮੇਨ ਇਹ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਉਦਾਹਰਨ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਦਾ ਰੋਬ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਖੁਸ਼ਬੂ ਨਿਕਲਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਚ
So you caught up now?
Justice or not, I apologize for something.
It's like I'm 15 years behind. Really, I'm catching up. I do have desire to learn Punjabi. But first I want to really learn Gurmukhi, learn my Guru. And then after that, let it keep coming. And I'll let that inspire me to keep working on my Punjabi. It's so beautiful, to be on this path. It really, truly is. And to be able to connect with you beyond words. And to be able to meet with Wahiru Ji Ka Khalsa, Wahiru Ji Ki Fateh, and to be able to share with each other with Waheguru. There's nothing more valuable that I could say in any other language, really. Is there any other questions anybody wants to bring up? Binti? Oh, okay.
I just wanted to ask you, how did you find Sikhi?
How did I find Sikhi? So I'll try to condense the story. And the story keeps changing also. Just so y'all know, you'll be like, that's not what she said on that other video. I'll get another perspective about it, or another layer will show up about, how I found it. And of course I could talk in these different, what physically happened. It was a Tuesday, like that. Or, there was this opening, this time in my life when I was able to receive. I imagine I've seen a lot of Sikhs and walked past a lot of Nishan Sahibs and, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't, and there was just this opening that happened, this door, this opening that happened to me when I experienced humility. I couldn't see the Guru until I had the experience of humility. And then once I had the experience of humility, this portal opened that allowed me to receive Waheguru. That's what really happened. I could tell, this kind of stories about, and then she said, and I said, and then I went there. But really what happened is this, this portal opened inside of me where I was able to receive Waheguru. And I was told about Kundalini Yoga, because this woman saw these qualities, these Sikh qualities in me, but the only place she knew to send me in New Mexico were to the yogis, to Kundalini Yoga. So I was told about summer solstice, Ramdas Puri, and I had never experienced Kundalini Yoga before. And I went there to the summer solstice, and life changed, And, when I left there, I was no longer the same. And I wanted to get to know it more and learn it more, because, Yogi Bhajan gave us the mantra of Waheguru, gave me those words, and I wanted to know, what is that? What is the root of that? Where is that coming from? And then I just went deeper and deeper, and I was given Japji in the Amar Vela, but I was so frustrated because it was in Gurmukhi, and they were saying it too fast, and I couldn't understand it, and I was like, Argh. My mind wanted to know what this was, what it meant, instead of just being in the vibration of the Shabakuru. My mind was like, what is this? What is this? So I started reading it in English, and I would just wake up in the Amar Vela and I would read it in English to just satisfy my mind. And once I just saw that really wasn't important, then I was able to, that other portal open where I could just receive the Shabakuru and just be in the vibration of it. And that took me to another layer, another layer, another layer. And, like I said, the form of it just keeps changing. Just like Guru Nanak's form changed 9 times, 10th with the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So it's okay for us to continue to understand our seasons of change and development. And sometimes we look at it and call it duality. Is there duality between Guru Nanak and Guru Tegh Bahadur? Is that duality? No. And so, really understanding all these aspects of the Guru inside of me and how they play out in my life, it just changes and develops and gets stronger. And I keep bowing my head and just feeling like, just let me be what the moment calls for. Not what I think I'm supposed to be and how it's what's needed in the moment that I'm standing there. May I be that. May I have the discipline and the ability and the sensitivity. When the warriors need it, bam, got it. When the healer is needed, bam, got it. I know how to tune in to my Guru. And that's, we have all of these different, like Naham, Taksali, AKJ, all these kind of things, And in the moment that serves that, be that. But when you're standing in a moment and a Naham in you needs to show up, then you know how to reach in you and you bring out the Naham. That's Khalsa. In the moment when that, vibration of the Taksali is needed, you be able to reach in you and you bring that forward. That's Khalsa. But we like to play this game and put these stipulations and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just inviting you to receive, open these portals inside of you so that we can really be what's needed on this planet. This is a real conversation. People are suffering, people are hungry, I don't even know, I feel such a sense of urgency. And I could just look at my own little family, just based off of this function of my own people sitting on my living room and my couch, and I can see the state and the consciousness of our world. Some is worse, some is, a little more balanced, some is more. We have work. This is the time of the Khalsa. It's not in history books. It is not in a little map on the Punjab. The Gurus created this path for the world. And he placed you in Canada, placed the Singhs in the UK, placed New Mexicans in New Mexico, so that we can bring the Khalsa forward. Any other questions? So when nobody has questions, it makes my ego feel like I'm doing such a great job.
I have another question.
Thank you.
So, you were originally, you didn't come from a Sikh family, and now you're a Sikh.
Mm-hmm.
As you went through your transition, what was the biggest aha moments for you that gave you that greater conviction to become a Sikh woman?
My biggest aha moment?
Yeah.
My biggest aha moment was really understand. Oh, well, hey, I've had a few. Okay, I have had a few. You know, like really getting, like really, that's what giving your head is. Like, you know, like understanding that for real was such a huge aha. And the thing is, I give it my head 6 years before, and then on the 7th year, I'm like, oh, that's what I did. And it came from this concept about, and if you've heard some of my talks before, because this was an aha moment. You know, there's this condition when somebody gets their arm cut off or their leg cut off, where they still think it's there. It's called, what is it? Yeah, phantom limb. And when I realized that I had that, like I was still walking around life thinking I had my head. And when you have phantom limb, it's like, you know, people say, move your toes, and they really think they're moving their toes. And people say, you know, oh, do your arm like this. And like the body and the mind remembers what it was like to do that and what it felt like to do that, so they still think that. So that's how I was for 6 years, basically. I thought I still had a head. And then the moment that I was like, oh my God. Like I really don't have a head, you know, and it's just like, oh my God. Like I really, my aunt, she said, this is my niece, the free spirit. You're like the hippie of the family, like, you know, the free spirit. And I was like, what? I'm not free. I'm giving my head to my guru. What do you say? Free spirit. I have a mission. I'm not a free spirit. I'm giving my head to my guru. And it was just like, you know, when somebody announces you to the world, and I was like, no, that's not my name. You know, like if somebody's like, okay, world, attention, this is Becky. And I'm like, what? I'm not Becky. I'm Amritpal Kaur. You know, like really, really, it's like, wow, I'm not free. I've given my head to my guru. That was an aha moment. Yeah. And I've had many, I really, and it's just such a blessing that the guru, I try to stand up, you know, like when we mata day, when we mata day and we put our forehead to the ground, you know, it's like we never really raise up. Our body looks like it's raising up, but your head, it's just there. And so sometimes I think I'm raising up and Guru's like, and I'm like, wait, I can't see. But I want to see him. And just puts my head right back down. But wait, hold on. Let me see. All the time. All the time. Any other questions there?
I was just wondering, what was the biggest issue or problem you've had coming into Sikhi?
I've been asked this a lot, and again, that changes. But how I'm feeling it right now, really, my biggest is in pleasing others. That's been my biggest feeling, like I have to please the Sangha. I have to meet their expectation in some way. And how it feels when I feel like I don't. And going back to that golden mud. You know, it's all just information, Amritpal. And not letting it stop me. Because I'm telling you, I would not be sitting here having this conversation. Everything that we experienced with the chorus there would not have happened if I would have said, well, let me check in with the Sangha and see if they think I'm worthy to go. You know, like went into that, right? And so I have to keep bowing my head to my Guru and saying, Guru, every time you wake me up in the morning, I then know I'm worthy. And like, really feeling that. Because you put the desire in my heart to tie a dastar, I know I'm worthy. Every time I do seva on my kirpan, I know I'm worthy because I'm doing it. It's happening. It's like the guru wouldn't have the capacity to snatch it. So because I am, just because I am worthy. And so like remembering that is like, I was working with this woman once, and she was in such depression, in such a dark place. And I'm watching her mind like turning in this battle, like just, you could see it like almost. You could see the jung like happening in her. And my heart was just like, why Guru? And she, with her mouth, she was saying, I used to be this amazing singing that was so strong, and I've lost it, and I can't find her, and she's gone. And I'm like, what? She is in a battle right now. That singing that you think is gone is battling for your sanity right now. You can't see her because she's in the weeds, like chopping for you. You can't see her because she got the camouflage, like in the jung, like battling for you right now. And I'm looking at her like, the fact that we are in this conversation tells me that Sini is there battling for you.
Wow.
The fact that you are sitting in a Gurdwara lets me know that the Khalsa is in you battling for you in the Kali Yuga, because you're not in a bar and whatever.
Wow.
And even then, there may be some thought that the Khalsa's like, what you doing? Battling for you. But because we can't see her, because the trees are so high, you think that you lost it. You think that she's gone. You think that, how am I going to find it? How am I going to find it? No, she's kind of busy at the moment, working for your sanity. Give her a minute. Just give her a minute. She's working for you. And like those are the kind of aha moments that the Guru shows me. It's like, very thing you think is gone is the only thing keeping you standing up straight right now. It's the only reason you haven't slit your wrist. That's how real the Kali Yuga is. Any other? What?
How did you feel about going to the solstice? Being new to Sikhi, was it awkward for you? Being around a lot of other Sikhs? Like how did you manage that? Because I realized like a lot of times at these kind of times when we, they're non-Nepalese, they really feel awkward like on the first couple of days, but then they try to, they make sense. So how did you cope with that?
Again, that's just like a part of our conditioning. Like I can't connect with you until I know you. Just like how the world does, like how we bought into that belief. I can't share with you until I know you. But when you are meditating on the Mu Mantra, that doesn't exist. They cannot be in the same, they can't cohabitate the same space. Like you can't be meditating on Mu Mantra and like getting Mu Mantra and judging people at the same time. They cannot coexist in the same space. Do you understand what I mean? So when we are really vibrating the ik, when we're truly, in the darshan of our Guru, it's just not possible. And so when those kind of things show up, I can't connect with you because it's like, okay, there's still more bondage and blockage in my heart. And then you just keep opening it, keep opening it, keep opening it. When you can't see the other, like I can't see Indians. Like I really can't see them. And I be trying to test myself. And it's like, you know how sometimes, and I know this is being recorded, but I'm just real talk. Sometimes when you're in a room full of white people, you're in a room full of white people, like just this feeling that you get. Please forgive me for even saying that, but there's just this feeling that you can get sometimes, does not exist for me. Like, I cannot see Indians. Even in India, like I can't. It's just not there. I can't force it if I wanted to force it. And I know that feeling just because of my karmic, my karmic relationship to white people, I think, just like what's happened the karma that I carry around that whole thing. But even that I'm giving to my guru. Like even like that is why I'm in this sarup, is to purify and to bring that consciousness out the best way that I can, as much as I can, you know. Like working on the psyche of so many people. Like just the sarup of the guru just does that. And sometimes anger comes up, or confusion, or whatever. And that's what it's supposed to do. I'm supposed to confuse your mind so that you can remember Vaheguru. I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to bring anger up in you, or resentment, or whatever, so that we can burn through that, because this is in the name of the Sabadak, so that we can heal this planet. So if that means you got to feel a little bit of anger, then guess what? Let's get it. And I'm really grateful for that grit that I have. You know, like, I'm so grateful that whatever I went through, or whatever my lineage went through, to give me that grit to say, you know, to not back away from a battle. You know, it's like, oh, I've got to go tell the truth about myself. It's going to hurt, but let's get it, because I'm here to heal this planet. And, yeah, Waheguru.
You just kind of touched on it right now, but we usually think of Sikhi and being Punjabi being so interchangeable. What do you feel, do you struggle with that? Do you feel like
Not at all.
aspects of Punjabi culture that don't mesh with Sikhi for you, or do you feel like you bring something unique coming from an African American perspective that you might not have growing up with a Punjabi background?
I actually think that is a blessing. To not, you know, like we're working on so many different levels. This isn't about us all being the same. It's like working out one arm all the time. Have you seen those muscle guys that are just like working out one arm? You know, it doesn't make sense to just work out one arm. So the guru has to spread it out, you know, so that we can work on other vibrations and other karmic chains and bring the Khalsa frequency to these other, you know, dynamics. So we each have our own karmic and our destiny that we have to feel. And it just so happens that, like, I'm so grateful that I have an American passport. Like, that allows me to travel and, you know, be in the world in another way. That if I was in Uganda, where the real Africans are, or, you know, whatever mind thing that people, you know, you are really black or really whatever, you know. Like it's a blessing for me to be able to share this, because I recognize that I would be, if we had a time machine and you took me back to 1776, I would be blasphemy. Blasphemy! There's no way that would ever exist on this planet. And I think that is a powerful thing, to be able to live inside that reality. So to try to, it's abuse, it's really self-abuse and self-hate for me to even go into conversations about, should I be Punjabi, should I not be Punjabi, That's just Maya. That's just this body is going to turn to dust, dirt. It's nothing, it's me, it really is. But right now it's just the vehicle that I get to serve my guru through. And I'm so grateful, you know, just these kind of little things, like even because I'm, you know, and these kind of things we kind of overlook. Like we're talking about the ego and compliments and this kind of stuff. The way that the human being and our conditioning is, you know, in order to break, like I would love to be just this glowing charikala, like just, you know, my ego would love that. Like just to be this, you know, you just, I'm just floating in the room. Right, just floating in, everyone. But there's this reality and this groundedness that I was also given just so I can connect with people, so I can relate with people. So this is also a way that I could just relate to people and to be able to give the message of the guru. So I'm grateful for that. You know, like I said, you know, like having the American passport or being in this color or, you know, like wearing the sroop like I do. It's just, this portal can be opened for how I can show how powerful and how big the reach is of our guru. So sometimes people say, oh, how do you like converting to Punjabi? Like converting to Punjabi, and I said, are you asking me like if I like Bhangra and stuff? So that would be my reply. Are you asking me if I like Bhangra and if I know how to cook Punjabi food? You know, and it's like, no, I don't know how to cook Punjabi food. Yes, Bhangra is quite fun, but that has nothing to do. That's nothing to do with anything, you know. So yeah, why do?
And then you said you don't see Indians. Just watch out for the smell. But in terms of, I mean, it's good to see someone coming into Sikhi with a fresh kind of view of it. If that makes sense. Usually, when we speak to people who come in with they might say something funky or outside of what you think, but you didn't. And I think that was very interesting. And the other thing is that, like you mentioned about compliments and things, that we're not, we're preconditioned to not do that. Like the example you gave about, about the woman and she said how she looked with those,
And that was risky.
Yeah.
Like the odds for me completely offending her were there. That was, but there was just a high vibration present. I didn't have an agenda. There was no hook, that she was able to receive it.
People don't kind of take that. They normally think there is something behind what you're saying.
Yeah. And see, that's the It's like, where are you at with it? What's happening inside of you? Where's your hook? What you trying to link on to? And when that is clean, when that is clear, people can receive you. But we're so afraid of like people being corrupted. You're just like, and I had that was an aha moment too. I was like tying my dastar, and I'm like, you have this big, massive dastar with Shuster. And so this thought came, like, are you the real deal? Like, I asked myself that. And I'm looking at myself and I'm like, are you just playing, Sikh? Or are you the real deal? And then my dastar, my guru, answered, do you have the courage to be the real deal? Can you risk actually being the real deal? And that's what happened in that moment. Can I risk this really, her being able to receive this? Because it was a risk. It could have gone either way. Me looking in the mirror, seeing, am I the real deal or not? Can I really be this Khalsa? Do you have it in you, the depth? Can you risk? Because it's like that possibility, there's a possibility there that you really are. And can you sit with that? It's a risk. And I'm risking that maybe I really am the Khalsa. And I'm willing to confront and face and burn and purify and take the slander. People love to comment about whether I pluck my eyebrow, take the slander. She got those bright, take the slander, whatever. Because there's a chance that that beige, that seed, that the Guru, what he said about my soul can be for real. And I'd rather put my attention on that. And I was scared to talk to the Sangat in Derby and Leicester, because they're like AKJ and they have these ideas, and I was like, oh man, I'm a little bit more liberal in that. I don't know if I can go sit in front of this Sangat and announce who I am to the world. I was scared about that. And then it was like, okay, but Amritpal, there's a chance in there that you're a real deal. Can you risk it? And I'm like, yeah, I can risk it. And I went in there and it was fine. I spoke the truth. It came in my heart, and I loved them. Yeah. So I think it feels like about closing. So just close your eyes. Project your heart towards your Guru. Straighten your spine. And inside of sitting in a space like this, bring your feet down and really connect and root into the earth. Feel your feet grounded into the center of the earth. bring the attention onto the breath. As you inhale, you're inhaling Vahe and exhaling Guru. Match that breath. May we continue to meet inside of this silence, inside of this high vibration of Vaheguru. Remembering to offer our heads again and again and again. Bringing forward compassion. Bringing forward the Satguru. Peeling back all of the layers of our mistrust, our deception, our fear, our anger, our pride, our attachment, our lust, to really reveal the Satguru. May we continue to risk, to put our lives at risk of being the real thing for our Guru. May we have the grit and the stamina to sustain the slander even of ourselves. May we leave here with the courage of lions, with the pride of peacocks and the humility of worms. And may everything that we need be at our feet, ready to serve us so we may serve others. Nanakanam Charikalam Derebam Sarabhatatapala. May all beings prosper by thy grace. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa. Vaheguru Ji ki Bibi.
Thank you very, very much.
How do I say thank you?
Tanwa.
What is it? Tanwa.
Thank you very much.
Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa.